What happens when the world's most powerful women decide to turn Monaco into their personal stage? Not through speeches, not through titles, but through the rarest, most breathtaking supercars ever created. Today, you're about to witness a side of Monaco few have ever seen. The rise of the Billionaire Queens, women whose presence alone can silence Casino Square and redirect every camera the moment their engines ignite. Monaco has always been known for luxury and speed, but what you're about to see goes far beyond that. Here, every acceleration is a declaration, every custom paint job is a strategy, and every arrival carries an unspoken message of power. Before we dive into this world of elegance, influence, and million-dollar machinery, make sure to like and subscribe if you love exclusive lifestyle stories, exotic cars, and the hidden dynamics of the ultra-wealthy on Inside the Billionaires. And stay until the end, because there is one queen whose arrival didn't just turn heads, it shifted the entire balance of power in Monaco with a single appearance. If you think you already know who runs Monaco, wait until you meet the women who never raise their voices, yet somehow control the energy of an entire city the moment they step out of a car. These are not ordinary socialites or glamorous influencers. These are Billionaire Queens, a discreet circle of women whose backgrounds are so elite and so varied that even Monaco's longtime residents struggle to keep up with their stories. Some come from generational wealth, heiresses to empires built on real estate, shipping, technology, or private banking. Others are self-made, CEOs, investors, innovators, and global strategists who turned a single idea into a luxury legacy. And then there are those who belong to both worlds, women raised among royalty or diplomacy who later built their own brands, their own influence, and their own rules. Together, they form a constellation of power rarely shown to the public. Yet, what makes them mesmerizing is not their net worth, it's their aura. They move differently, they arrive differently, and most importantly, they are watched differently. Locals say you can always tell when one of them is approaching. Not because of bodyguards or noise, but because the crowd's atmosphere shifts. A subtle quiet, a collective inhale, as if everyone senses the presence of someone who carries influence without needing to prove it. Every queen has her own signature, a specific color palette, a signature walk, a timeless accessory, a type of exotic car that no one else dares to drive. Their stories weave through Monaco's most exclusive layers, penthouses overlooking the Riviera, private art vaults, midnight helicopter transfers, and quiet meetings inside elite clubs where deals worth millions are finalized over a single glass of champagne. But beneath the elegance lies something deeper. An unspoken hierarchy among these women, a silent ranking that only a handful of people truly understand. And the surprising part, this hierarchy isn't defined by age, beauty, or even money, but by something far more unpredictable. A force that one queen uses so naturally, it reshapes every arrival and every moment she appears. And when you discover who she is, Monaco will look very different. You can't understand Monaco's billionaire queens until you understand the machines they choose to command. Because in this city, a car is never just a car, it's a language, a message, a declaration of presence long before the driver even steps out. These women don't pick their vehicles for convenience. They choose them the way a monarch chooses a crown. Some favor the poetry of precision engineering. A Pagani Huayra with handcrafted carbon curves, a Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport tuned to perfection, or a Ferrari SF90 Stradale whose hybrid roar echoes through the Monaco tunnel like a royal announcement. Others lean toward exclusivity. One-of-one colorways, rare coach-built editions, or custom interiors stitched with initials that only they and a handful of artisans know about. But what truly sets their cars apart is the intent behind each choice. A vivid purple hypercar isn't simply a preference. It's a signal that this queen refuses to blend in. A matte white Aventador isn't minimalism. It's a symbol of discipline, silence, and control. A rose gold McLaren isn't a trend. It's a claim of dominance over the luxury landscape. Every detail tells a story. The angle of the spoiler, the tint of the windows, even the sound of the downshift when they cruise past the casino. Observers may think these arrivals are spontaneous, but insiders know they're calculated. Every appearance, every route, every ignition time is part of a choreography only the queens understand. Their cars aren't transport, they're strategy. And yet, among all the rare colors and million-dollar builds, there's one car whispered about more than the rest. A vehicle painted in a shade that Monaco's elite consider untouchable. A color so bold and symbolic that only one woman dares to bring it onto these streets. The moment her engine appears in the distance, everything changes. The atmosphere, the crowd, even the hierarchy no one admits exists. And when you see what that color means, you'll understand why her arrival is never just an arrival, it's a message. If Monaco is a stage, then the arrivals of these billionaire queens are the scenes that stop the entire show. There are moments, rare, electrifying moments, when even the constant rhythm of supercars, camera clicks, and luxurious chaos suddenly freezes. And it always begins the same way. A faint engine note, subtle at first, but unmistakably different from everything else echoing through the narrow streets. Locals call it the Monaco hush. It happens when a queen is about to arrive. Tourists instinctively step aside, influencers raise their phones, and even seasoned car spotters straighten their posture because they know something unusual is about to happen. The arrivals are not loud, chaotic, or aggressive. They are controlled, timed, and impossibly elegant. One queen once glided into Casino Square during the peak of the Monaco Yacht Show. Not racing, not revving, just rolling forward with an effortless presence that turned hundreds of conversations silent in an instant. Her car door opened, and for a brief moment, every lens locked on her as if the city itself had paused to welcome her. Another queen arrived at the Grand Prix weekend in a hypercar wrapped in a color-changing finish that left spectators convinced it was a hologram. Whether planned or spontaneous, the effect was the same. A shockwave of awe sweeping the crowd. But the most unforgettable moment wasn't the loudest or the flashiest. It was a quiet Sunday morning when a rarely seen queen appeared unannounced, driving a limited edition model that only 3 people in the world possess. Without security, without entourage, without any performance, she stepped out, crossed the square, and disappeared into the Hôtel de Paris. People still talk about it, not because of what she wore or what she drove, but because of what that moment revealed. It proved that the true power in Monaco isn't in the noise, it's in the pause. And the next queen you're about to meet? She mastered that pause so perfectly, Monaco still hasn't recovered. In Monaco, competition doesn't look like arguments, debates, or dramatic confrontations. Here, rivalry is silent, expressed not through words, but through choices. And nowhere is this more obvious than in the unofficial power game played between the billionaire queens. At first glance, everything seems calm, elegant, perfectly civilized. They exchange polite smiles, admire each other's outfits, and even compliment a new car or accessory. But beneath that polished surface lies a subtle contest that only the most observant can see. One queen upgrades her hypercar every month, ensuring she is always the first to introduce the latest model to the Riviera. Another chooses exclusivity instead, appearing only in vehicles so rare that collectors fly across continents just for a glimpse. Yet another queen uses timing as her strategy. She arrives at the exact moment the crowd is largest, transforming each appearance into a mini-event that eclipses anything happening around her. Even their routes through Monaco are strategic. One prefers the iconic tunnel, where the acoustics amplify her engine like a royal trumpet. Another always circles by the marina, letting the reflections from the yachts dance across her car's paint. Another glides through Casino Square at dusk, when the lights are golden and the cameras capture every detail perfectly. And while they never admit it, everyone senses the tension. That quiet, unspoken competition for the most unforgettable arrival, the most iconic silhouette, the most powerful presence. Yet, in this delicate game, something unexpected has begun to shift. Among the queens, there is one woman who never participates in the showmanship. She doesn't chase trends, doesn't switch cars constantly, and doesn't time her entries for the crowd. Her strategy is the opposite: simplicity, rarity, and mystery. And strangely, the more she does nothing, the more Monaco watches her. Her influence grows silently, without effort, and with each understated appearance, she reshapes the entire hierarchy the others thought they understood. Soon, you'll see why even the most dazzling arrivals cannot overshadow a queen who wields power without ever needing to display it. There's a reason the billionaire queens of Monaco appear effortless yet untouchable. It's not luck, it's a code, a set of silent rules followed by the most powerful women in the principality, rules that outsiders rarely notice and insiders never dare to break. The first rule is timing. A queen never arrives too early or too late. She appears at the exact moment her presence will be felt the strongest. Whether it's a yacht show, a gala, or a casual afternoon near Casino Square, her timing is her signature. Precise, intentional, unforgettable. The second rule is presentation. No queen repeats the same aesthetic twice. If she wore monochrome last week, she will arrive in bold color this week. If her car was sleek and minimal yesterday, today it might be wrapped in a finish no one has ever seen before. Reinvention isn't an option, it's a requirement, a way of staying ahead in a world where every detail is analyzed. The third rule is exclusivity. Anything common is avoided. A car seen too often will vanish from her rotation. A fashion item spotted on someone else becomes instantly obsolete. A true queen maintains an aura that says, "Only I can do this, and only once." But the fourth rule is the most quietly powerful of all. Never overshadow another queen on purpose. In Monaco, respect maintains balance. When a queen senses another's moment, she steps back. Not out of fear, but out of understanding that harmony is part of the luxury. Yet, there is one final rule. The one whispered about at private dinners and exclusive lounges. Do not break the circle. If a queen violates the silent code, by arriving uninvited, by imitating another's signature style, or by disrupting a carefully orchestrated moment, she risks being quietly removed from Monaco's most prestigious social orbit. No confrontation, no announcement, just absence. And surprisingly, one queen came dangerously close to crossing that invisible line, but what happened next changed her reputation in a way no one expected. Behind every stunning arrival in Monaco is a garage that most people will never see. A hidden world where each queen keeps her most prized possessions, her cars. Not just one or two, but full collections worth tens of millions, curated with the precision of an art museum. Because for the billionaire queens, exotic cars aren't simply luxuries. They're investments, identities, and pieces of personal history. Some own limited edition hypercars that were revealed privately. Vehicles that never appeared in press releases or public showcases. Their names are whispered only among collectors, and their keys exchanged through confidential meetings in penthouses overlooking the Riviera. Others specialize in custom builds, commissioning one-of-one creations from Pagani, Ferrari, or Koenigsegg, ensuring no duplicate of their car will ever exist on the planet. And then there are the emotional pieces. Cars inherited from a father, gifted by a spouse, or purchased to celebrate a milestone. These aren't just machines. They're stories encased in carbon fiber and handcrafted leather. Each time they start the engine, they're revisiting a moment. One queen is famous for her turquoise collection. Every hypercar she owns is finished in a shade inspired by the Mediterranean. Another prefers rare materials, forged carbon, gold accents, or interiors stitched with subtle patterns symbolizing her family heritage. A third keeps her cars nearly invisible, rarely seen, stored in a temperature-controlled vault beneath her villa, emerging only on special occasions that Monaco never forgets. Yet, among all these collections, one car stands above the rest. A vehicle so unique that a Middle Eastern billionaire once offered to buy it for 4 times its value and was politely refused. Not out of pride, but because the car held a meaning too personal to price. And the story behind that refusal, the reason she kept the car hidden for years, reveals a surprising side of this queen that no one in Monaco expected. A side that will completely change the way you see her next appearance. If the billionaire queens are the face of Monaco's luxury world, then behind them stands an entire network of specialists who keep their empires running with flawless precision. These women may drive alone, appear alone, and move with absolute confidence, but the perfection surrounding them is never accidental. Every queen has her own inner circle, Some teams look simple from the outside: a personal chauffeur, a stylist, a security advisor. But the deeper you look, the more intricate the system becomes. There are private engineers trained specifically to tune their hypercars, adjusting engine response and suspension settings to match the Queen's driving style. There are detailers who work overnight, hand polishing carbon fiber until it reflects the Monte Carlo lights like black glass. Some Queens even employ sound advisors, experts who fine-tune the exhaust tone so it delivers the exact emotional effect when they arrive at Casino Square. Then there are the strategists, the invisible minds shaping every public moment. They study events, weather, traffic patterns, even lighting conditions, ensuring that each Queen appears at the perfect time, from the most flattering angle, with the crowd at its maximum anticipation. Their work is subtle, almost invisible, but essential. A flawlessly orchestrated arrival can elevate a Queen's presence for months. And yet, among all these specialists, one figure stands above the rest: the shadow manager, a private coordinator who oversees everything from car logistics to social positioning. While his identity remains unknown to the public, his influence is unmistakable. He has the rare ability to predict how Monaco will react to each arrival, each color choice, each moment. Rumor has it that one Queen's rise, the one whose appearances feel almost cinematic, is largely credited to this man. He reads Monaco like a chessboard, positioning her moves with quiet mastery, staying completely out of sight while amplifying her influence more than any engine roar could. But recently, whispers suggest he made a decision that changed the balance between the Queens. A subtle shift that no one expected, but everyone felt. And the consequences of that decision will become clear the moment the next Queen arrives. Monaco has always been a symbol of wealth, a land of superyachts, penthouses, and engines echoing through narrow streets. But in recent years, something unprecedented has happened. The Billionaire Queens have quietly reshaped what luxury means in this city. Their influence isn't loud or aggressive, it's subtle, elegant, and remarkably transformative. Their arrivals have changed the rhythm of Monaco. Where supercar culture once revolved around speed and sound, the Queens brought something different: style, precision, and meaning. A hypercar is no longer admired just for horsepower. Now, the question becomes who is driving it and why she chose that exact look, that exact moment, that exact route. Their presence has also reshaped Monaco's fashion landscape. Designers from Paris, Milan, and Dubai now time their releases around major Monaco events because a single appearance from a Queen can turn an outfit into an international trend within hours. Even the Riviera's iconic jewelry houses have adapted, crafting bespoke pieces to match specific car interiors or color themes chosen months in advance. But perhaps the biggest impact is cultural. These women have introduced a new form of soft power, a blend of elegance, intelligence, and unforgettable presentation. Their choices influence restaurants, nightlife, art purchases, and even the way foreign investors position themselves when visiting the Principality. A trend that once revolved around men showcasing their supercars has evolved into a stage ruled by women who understand both luxury and strategy. They've inspired younger generations, shifted the social dynamics, and quietly set new expectations for what it means to be truly elite. Yet behind all these changes lies one emerging reality. Monaco's future will be shaped less by traditional wealth and more by those who master presence, those who appear rarely, speak softly, and move with unshakable confidence. And among all these queens, there is one whose influence has grown faster and stronger than anyone predicted. Some say she is the new axis around which Monaco's luxury world now rotates. Others believe her next appearance will redefine the city once again. All eyes are waiting. The next move is hers. Monaco may be small on the map, but in the world of luxury, it's a universe of its own. A place where presence matters more than power, where elegance speaks louder than noise, and where the Billionaire Queens rewrite the rules simply by choosing when to arrive. These women have transformed the city into something more than a destination. They've turned it into a living story, one written in engine notes, shimmering colors, and moments so perfectly timed that they feel almost cinematic. Every appearance is a chapter. Every car is a symbol. Every glance becomes part of the legend. And as Monaco continues to evolve, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The future of luxury belongs to those who understand how to blend mystery, confidence, and intention. The Billionaire Queens don't just live in this world, they define it. Thank you for joining this journey inside the heart of Riviera elegance. If you love stories about influence, wealth, exotic cars, and the hidden world of global elites, make sure to like, subscribe, và bat chuông je khong, bolo tap tiep theo train inside the Billionaires. Because the next chapter is already on its way. And trust me, what's coming will stun you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.